الحمدللہ رب العالمین والصلاة والسلام علی سید المرسلین اما بعد فاعوذ باللہ من الشیطان الرجیم بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم الصلاة والسلام علیک یا رسول اللہ وعلی آلک واصحابک یا حبیب اللہ الصلاة والسلام علیک یا نبی اللہ وعلی آلک واصحابک یا نور اللہ. Dear viewers and listeners of Madani channel, welcome back to another beautiful episode on this Silsilay, Madani Qaida. I do hope your Madani Qaidas are out. If not a problem, you can follow on screen as well. Before we move on to today's lesson, please do make good intentions. Shaykh al-Tariqat, Amir Ahl Sunnat, the founder of Dawud Islami, Hazrat Allama Maulana Abu Bilal Muhammad Qadri Dam Barakatuhumul Aliyah emphasizes on this point of making good intentions, and he cites the very famous hadith that the beloved Rasul sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam has mentioned, Niyatul mu'mini khayrun min amalihi. The intention of a believer is better than his action. So don't delay, make as many good intentions today. In fact, make good intentions right now that I'm listening to the Silsilay, I'm participating in the Silsilay for the pleasure of Allah Azza wa Jal, for the pleasure of the beloved Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Make other good intentions that whatever I learn, I will try my best to practice upon that, inshallah Azza wa Jal, and teach others as well. So make these firm intentions, these sincere intentions, inshallah Azza wa Jal, whilst learning the correct pronunciations of the Arabic letters so that we can recite the Quran properly, we will attain some thawab, inshallah Azza wa Jal. Alhamdulillah Azza wa Jal, there are so many benefits, so many blessings for reciting Durood Pak, salawat, salutations upon the cream of creation, the beloved Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It is mentioned in a summary of a narration that decorate your gatherings by reciting durood upon me, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Sallu ala الحبيب, sallallahu ta'ala ala محمد, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Dear viewers and listeners of Madani channel, please do open your Madani Qaidas page 20, or you may follow on screen. Lesson number 11. This is to do with the sukoon or the jazm. There are a few points there. Please do concentrate on these points so that before we start the actual lesson, it will be easier for you to understand them. Okay, we already have learnt that the sign that you see on your screens or in your Madani Qaidas is called a jazm. And a letter which has a jazm, which carries a jazm, is called a sakin. And this jazm, this letter which has the jazm, it must be pronounced with the letter, the mutaharrik letter which comes before it. Mutaharrik, I'm sure by now these terms you are familiar with. Mutaharrik refers to that letter which has a haraka. What is a haraka? Fatha, dhamma or kasra. Alright, whenever we find a hamza sakina, this must be pronounced all the time with a jerking sound. Okay, we are going to learn a new term today, and that is qalqala. In fact, we mentioned this term in a previous episode, in a previous lesson, but we didn't go into details. Now we are going into some kind of detail that the letters of qalqala are 5. The letters of qalqala are 5. Try to memorize these terms, their letters, and what rule applies there, and implement them and apply them when we are reading the Quran, inshallah Azza wa Jal, or our lessons. So the letters of qalqala are qaf, ta, ba, jim and dal. When we combine these letters in order to make it easy for us to memorize, so that we remember which letters belong to which category, we add them together as qutubu jaddin. Try to repeat this after me. Qutubu jaddin. Qutubu jaddin. So these 5 letters are the qalqala letters, and especially the qalqala letters, when they are sakin, then they must be more prominent in their sound. How do you pronounce these letters? That it must have a rebounding sound. It must have a slight bouncing or echoing sound when they are pronounced. Alright, when we begin our lesson, you remember the few basic points that we must always keep the makharij of the letters in mind. Each letter has its own makhraj. Some letters which belong to the same category will have the same makhraj. So keep the makhraj of each letter in mind. Look at the shape when we are joining, when we are combining letters before or after. Look at the shapes, the forms, how they change, and keep the huruf musta'aliya letters in mind. Those 7 letters, khuswa, dagh, tin, qidh. You will find that on page 1, lesson number 1. Whenever you find those letters, you must pronounce them with a thick sound, with a thick tone. And today we've learnt the qalqala letters. Try to find them, identify them, and pronounce them in the correct manner, inshallah azza wa jal. Sallu ala الحبيب sallallahu ta'ala ala محمد sallallahu alayhi وسلم. Alright, turn to your Madani Qaida page 21, or follow on screen as well. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Hamza, ta, fatha, at. Hamza, ta, kasra, it. Hamza, ta, dhamma, ut. At, it, ut. At, it, ut. Okay, because ta is not part of the letters of qalqala, so we will not rebound the sound of this letter. There will not be an echoing or bouncing sound. For example, we must not say atta, itta, utta. This will be incorrect. In the normal ma'ruf manner, we must pronounce at, it, ut. So slightly we will pronounce the sound of the letter ta. Hamza, ta, fatha, at. Hamza, ta, kasra, it. Hamza, ta, dhamma, ut. At, it, ut. Okay, now why am I making the sound prominent, the ta? Because we've just learned that the qalqala letters, when they are sakin, as you can see, the ta has a sakin, a jazm on top of it, and therefore the sound must be more prominent. There must be that bouncing or echoing sound, the rebounding sound must be there. And on top of this, the ta is part of the huruf musta'aliya, letters of the musta'aliya, therefore it must be pronounced with a full mouth. At, it, ut. Hamza, za, fatha, az. Hamza, za, kasra, is. Hamza, za, dhamma, uz. Az, is, uz. This letter, we must not stretch the sound of this letter and say az, is, uz. This will be incorrect. But in the normal manner, we must pronounce this letter. Also keep qareeb as-sawt in mind. Do you remember? Qareeb as-sawt are those letters which sound somewhat similar, but they are different. Like the first 2 examples, at, it, ut. So here there's a ta, and the next example is a ta, at, it, ut. So you can see the difference. Although they sound a little similar, but they are different. Az, is, uz. Hamza, dhal, fatha, adh. Hamza, dhal, kasra, idh. Hamza, dhal, dhamma, udh. Adh, idh, udh. أذ إذ أذ. همزة ضا فتحة أض. همزة ضا كسرة إض. همزة ضا ضمة أذ. أض إض أذ. أض إض أذ. This letter dha. Alright, za, dhal and dha. They sound similar. These are qarib as-sawt, but keep in mind az has a flat sound, the za. Dhal, this has a little bit harder sound, and dha, adh, idh, udh, this has a full mouth. The sound must be made with a full mouth because dha is part of the huruf musta'adiyah. Hamza tha fatha ath. Hamza tha kasra ith. Hamza tha dhamma uth. Ath ith uth. Ath ith uth. Alright, these letters do not stretch the sound of these letters. For example, ath, ith, uth. That will be incorrect. But in the normal manner, the ma'ruf, the common manner, ath, ith, uth. Hamza, sin, fatha, as. Hamza, sin, kasra, is. Hamza, sin, dhamma, us. As, is, us. As, is, us. Sin has a little bit of a hard sound. Hamza, sad, fatha, as. Hamza, sad, kasra, is. Hamza, sad, dhamma, us. As, is, us. As, is, us. Alright, these three letters are qarib as-sawt. The first, the tha, this is pronounced in a gentle tone, a flat sound, a thin sound. Ath, ith, uth. Ath, ith, uth. And the sin has a more of a hard sound. As, is, us. As, is, us. And swad, swad belongs, do you remember, to the huruf musta'aliyah, and therefore they are pronounced, this letter is pronounced with a full mouth. As, is, us. As, is, us. Hamza, dal, fatha, ad. Hamza, dal, kasra, id. Hamza, dal, dhamma, ud. Ad, id, ud. Ad, id, ud. Now, you may be asking, why am I creating an echo sound of the dal? Some of you may have guessed it already, or some of you maybe already know the answer that is contained in the previous page. We had discussed this already. The dal is part of the huruf qalqala. Huruf qalqala, and as we know, and as is written there as well, that the qalqala letters, if they are sakin, and here you can see that dal has a jazm upon it, and therefore the sound must be a little bit more prominent. There must be a rebounding, echoing or bouncing sound, and therefore we are saying ad, ad. We are not just saying ad, ad, id, ud. Hamza, dad, fatha, ad. Hamza, dad, kasra, id. Hamza, dad, dhamma, ud. Ad, id, ud. ad, id, ud. Alright, you can see that these two are qareeb as-sawt, dal and dad. They are sounding similar, but they are different. Dal belongs to the category of qalqala, and it has a harder sound. Dad belongs to the category of huruf musta'aliyah, and therefore it must be pronounced with a full mouth. So on one side we have ad, id, ud. Alright, and dad, we must not have that echoing or bouncing sound because it does not belong to the huruf qalqala. Therefore we shall say ad, id, ud. Hamza, kaf, fatha, ak. Hamza, kaf, kasra, ik. Hamza, kaf, dhamma, uk. Ak, ik, uk. Ak, ik, uk. Hamza, qaf, fatha, aq. Hamza, qaf, kasra, iq. Hamza, qaf, dhamma, uq. Aq, iq, uq. Aq, iq, uq. Alright, these two letters, the kaf and the qaf, this is qareeb as-sawt as well. They sound similar, but they are different. Kaf has more of a flat sound, a thin sound, and qaf is pronounced with a full mouth because it is part of the huruf musta'aliyah and it is part of the huruf qalqala, the qalqala letters, and therefore you can hear that slight echoing or bouncing sound because this is the qaf with a jazm upon it. So let's look at the difference. One is ak, ik, uk. Ak, ik, uk. And the other aq, iq, uk. Aq, iq, uk. Hamza, ha, fatha, ah. Hamza, ha, kasra, ih. Hamza, ha, dhamma, ih, Okay, this sound, the ha, keep in mind the makhraj. The makhraj, which means the place where the sound emanates or comes from, is from the bottom of the throat. Ih, and it must be pronounced with a heavy sound. It must have a heavy sound. Hamza, ha, fatha, ah. Hamza, ha, kasra, ih. Hamza, ha, dhamma, ih, Can you hear the difference between these two letters? The first has a heavier sound. The makhraj of that is from the bottom of the throat, and this ha has a thin sound, and its makhraj is from the center of the throat. Therefore, always keep qareeb as-sawt, those letters which sound similar but they are different. Keep this in mind so that we can pronounce the letters accurately and properly. Now, if you look at these two letters, one is pronounced with a heavier sound and the other with a thinner sound. Ih, ih, Hamza, fatha, a. Hamza, kasra, I. Hamza, dhamma, u. A, I, u. A, I, u. As we mentioned earlier, when Hamza is sakina, it has a jazm upon it, then it must be pronounced with a jerking sound. Hamza, ayn, fatha, a. Hamza, ayn, kasra, i. Hamza, Ain, Dhamma, This is the Ain. Also its makhraj comes from the center of the throat. So differentiate between the Hamza, which has a flat sound, and the Ain, which has a more intense sound from the center of the throat. Alright, so the Hamza is one side that must be pronounced with a jerking sound, and the Ain must be pronounced with a jerking, but not like the Hamza. It must be pronounced according to its makhraj. Keep that in mind, and with practice, inshallah azza wa jal, a person may get used to it. So we have one side the Hamza, a, I, u, and the Ain, a, I, u. Hamza, kha, fatha, akh. Hamza, kha, kasra, ikh. Hamza, kha, dhamma, ukh. Akh, ikh, ukh. Akh, ikh, ukh. Hamza, ghain, fatha, agh. Hamza, ghain, kasra, igh. Hamza, ghain, dhamma, ugh. Agh, igh, ugh. Agh, igh, ugh. These two letters are also qareeb as-sawt, but keep in mind the kha is pronounced with a full mouth and the scraping sound. Ghain is also pronounced with a full mouth. Do you know why? Because these two letters are part of the huruf musta'adiyah. Therefore, they must be pronounced with a thick tone, a thick sound, a full mouth. However, the kha is pronounced with a scraping sound, and the ghain must not be pronounced with a scraping sound. Do not say gain as well, because gaf is not included in the Arabic letters. So on one side we have the kha, akh, ikh, ukh. But don't stretch the sound of these letters too much. For example, akh, ikh, ukh. This is also incorrect. But in the normal ma'aruf, the common manner, akh, ikh, ukh, and the ghain, agh, igh, ugh. Hamza, ba, fatha, ab. Hamza, ba, kasra, ib. Hamza, ba, dhamma, ub. Ab, ib, ub. Ab, ib, ub. Hamza, mim, fatha, am. Hamza, mim, kasra, im. Hamza, mim, dhamma, am, im, am, im, Okay, ba and mim, these two are also pronounced from the lips. However, the ba is pronounced from the wet part of the lips, and the mim is pronounced from the dry part of the lips. Another thing, the ba is included in the huruf qalqala, and therefore that slight echoing or bouncing sound must be heard. So let's look at the difference. Ab, ib, ub, and im, Let's turn to the next page. Hamza, waw, fatha, aw. Okay, now kasra is not used before waw sakin. You can see this important note in your Madani Qaidas as well. Hamza, waw, dhamma, oo. Aw, oo, aw, oo. Don't forget to round the lips when you are pronouncing the letter waw. Hamza, fa, fatha, af. Hamza, fa kasra if. Hamza fa dhamma uf. Af if uf. Very important here as well, don't stretch the sound of the letter fa. Do not say af, if, uf. This will be incorrect. But in the normal manner, af, if, uf. Hamza, lam, fatha, al. Hamza, lam, kasra, il. Hamza, lam, dhamma, ul. Al, il, ul. Al, il, ul. This letter as well, don't stretch the sound of the letter and say al, il, ul in the normal manner. Al, il, ul. Hamza, noon, fatha, an. Hamza, noon, kasra, in. Hamza, noon, dhamma, un. An, in, un. An, in, un. Hamza, ra, fatha, ar. Hamza, ra, fatha, ar. Hamza, ra, kasra, ir. Hamza, ra, dhamma, ur. Ar, ir, ur. Ar, ir, ur. Here as well the ra. Be careful not to stretch the sound of this letter and say ar, ir, ur. In fact, for any of the letters, we should not stretch the sound of that letter. In the normal manner, let us recite ar, ir, ur. Hamza, jim, fatha, aj. Hamza, jim, kasra, ij. Hamza, jim, dhamma, uj. Aj, ij, uj. Do you know why we are pronouncing with a bouncing or echoing sound? That's correct. Jim is also part of the huruf qalqala. Aj, ij, uj. Hamza, sheen, fatha, ash. Hamza, sheen, kasra, ish. Hamza, sheen, dhamma, ush. Ash, ish, ush. Here as well, many people make the mistake and they stretch the sound of this letter sheen and say ash, ish, ush. Incorrect. In the normal manner, that's how we must pronounce this letter. Ash, ish, ush. Ash, ish, ush. Hamza, ya, fatha, ay. Hamza, ya, kasra, e. Alright, a dhamma is not used before a ya sakin. This also important note you can find in your Madani Qaidas as well. I, e, I, e, I, e. Alhamdulillah Azza wa Jal, we have completed lesson number 11, which was to do with the sukoon or the jazm. Now, these lessons, time and time again, we keep reminding that please do revise these lessons. It is necessary for us, because to recite the glorious Quran accurately and properly, correctly, is necessary. When whether in salah or out of salah. And this, if we can perfect the recitation here in our Madani Qaidas, then inshallah Azza wa Jal, the recitation of the glorious Quran will become easy for us. Therefore, individually, alone or collectively with friends or family members, revise this work, revise these lessons, because repetition is part of learning. And inshallah Azza wa Jal, we will see some positive results. And a Madani iltija, a Madani request to you, the dear viewers and listeners of Madani channel, enroll in a Madrasatul Madina near you. If you cannot find one, then Madrasatul Madina online is available. Associate yourselves with this beautiful movement, this Madani movement of Dawud Islami. Dawud Islami is actively promoting the Quran and Sunnah in more than 100 departments across the globe. Madrasatul Madina is just one of those departments. Alhamdulillah Azza wa Jal, if you participate in the weekly Sunnah inspired Ijtima'at, Islamic brothers, Islamic sisters separately, Darul Madina Islamic school system has now been introduced. Alhamdulillah Azza wa Jal, Madrasatul Madina for children, for grown-ups, for Islamic brothers, for Islamic sisters separately. Maktabud al-Madina, beautiful books and booklets are available in more than 30 different languages. If you have any problem, physical or spiritual, Ta'wizat al-Tariya is available free of charge. So Dawud Islami is actively working in so many departments. Support this beautiful Madani movement, and inshallah Azza wa Jal, you will see positivity in your life, in the life of your family members, and in society as well, inshallah Azza wa Jal. Until next time, do join us for the next episode and lesson of Madani Qaida. صلوا على الحبيب صلى الله تعالى على محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم.